Okay, so episode 2 of the supplement science series, and today we're talking about a non-stim pre-workout. So this sort of carries on nicely from last week's episode, which was covering the stimulant pre-workout. So what is a non-stim pre? It basically is a pre-workout without the caffeine, so without the stimulant compound in there, so hence non-stim. Okay, so it's no caffeine. Generally, the primary goal of the non-stim is to help in terms of blood flow and pumps in the gym. So it'll often be called a pump product instead of a non-stim. So you might see something called, they might have a version of a stim and a pump, or they might be called something different. So like with the CNP one, it's called expansion. If in terms of expanding your blood vessels to aid the pump, expanding your muscles. So the sort of compounds that are within the non-stim or the pump pre-workouts generally are citrulline or citrulline malate and glycerol. They're the two that I'm going to go over today. They're the two primary compounds that make up the majority of the product. There are other things in there like estrogen and bioperine, which are patented products, which are basically just helping in terms of the uptake and the absorption of the production of the citrulline and the glycerol basically. But I'm not going to go into those too much. Like I said in last week's episode, I don't want this to be too complicated and me just reeling off product names and ingredients lists. But in terms of citrulline malate and glycerol, they're the primary ones, and they're the ones that I'm going to go over today. So why would you want to have a non-stim pre-workout? Okay, so generally the main benefit of the citrulline malate or citrulline is the fact that it's going to help increase nitric oxide. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's going to help with blood flow. It's going to vasodilate your blood vessels, so it's going to basically expand your blood vessels, which is going to help with blood flow, increase blood flow, reduce blood pressure. It's going to give you more of a pump, which is going to help with mind-muscle connection. So that's the basics of it. Okay, so what citrulline malate does is it actually increases the plasma concentration of these two things, so ornithine and arginine. What ornithine does then is it actually helps in terms of the urea cycle. So citrulline is one of the 3 aminos that contribute to the urea cycle, which is basically the cycle which converts ammonia into urea, which we can then expel from the body. Okay, so ammonia, we have ammonia in the body from the metabolization of amino acids. Okay, so when we metabolize our food, our protein, our amino acids, we get a byproduct of ammonia, which is actually toxic in the body. So we need to then get rid of that. And the way that we do that is through the urea cycle. And obviously the citrulline malate helps with that. The benefit of that is that it can actually aid in exercise over around like 4 or 5 minutes. So it can help with endurance exercise, let's say, or with resistance training. If you're getting towards the end of a session and you feel like you're sort of flagging energy-wise or hydration-wise, whatever it may be, this can actually help in terms of aiding your session for the length of it if you're training for longer than 45 minutes, which I guess the majority of people that follow me and that watch these will be doing. And then the arginine, what that does is, like I say, the increase in nitric oxide, which is going to help with vasodilation and the pump and the mind-muscle connection that you're going to get with that pump, which is then going to lead to a more hypertrophic effect, because with a better pump, with a better mind-muscle connection, we're likely going to perform better in the gym. Okay. In terms of the glycerol or the glycerol is just a patented glycerol powder, so it's like a stable 65% glycerol powder. What that's going to do is it's going to help draw more water in to the gut, and it actually helps with constipation. But also it's going to help attract more water through the blood and help keep you more hydrated throughout the session, more sort of better cellular hydration. But also help draw water into the muscle, which is going to again help with the pump and make you feel bigger, make you feel better in the gym, help with that mind-muscle connection. So that's basically the main benefits of those two. In terms of when to take it, so looking at the research in terms of the Glycerol, it generally says around about an hour prior to training, but realistically you're going to be taking, and the thing is, this isn't solely glycerol or solely citrulline, there's a lot of other things in there. But generally, I would say between 5 and 30 minutes, very similar to what I said with the actual stim pre-workout. I would pair it with a stim if you're training like prior to 3 p.m. If you're training after 3 p.m, then I'd recommend just having it on its own. Again, that's why, that's the reason that I spoke about in last week's episode in terms of quality of sleep with caffeine. Okay, so if you train in the evening, this is perfect. If you train in the day or in the morning, you can definitely still have it, and I would recommend pairing it with a stim product with the caffeine in there as well to get the added benefits of that. So in terms of how to take it and how much to take, so generally we want to be taking between 6,000 and 8,000 milligrams of citrulline to get the benefits of that, which is, it equates to about 4 to 5 grams of citrulline. Sorry, 6,000 to 8,000 milligrams of citrulline malate, which equates to about 4 to 5 grams of citrulline. So there's 1 gram of citrulline in 1.76 grams of citrulline malate, so it basically just breaks down into pure citrulline or L-citrulline. So 6,000 to 8,000 milligrams in the products I'm going to talk about. So expansion, which is the non-stim pre, the CNP one, you get 8,000 milligrams of citrulline malate, so that's perfect dose. That's in 15 grams. So I wouldn't go for really any more than a scoop. There's not really much need for going much more than a scoop. Obviously, if you're a much bigger person, then it might make sense to have a little bit more. But generally, 6,000 to 8,000 milligrams is going to be a good enough amount to get the benefits that we spoke about there. So that's pretty much everything covered on the non-stim, to be honest. In terms of my little thoughts and my tips, I think it's perfect for training in the evening. And if you still want a bit of a boost and a bit of motivation, whether it be through placebo effect or through the added benefit of the product, then I'd recommend taking it for your PM training sessions if you do train in the evening and don't take a caffeine supplement or a stim-based supplement, so it doesn't impact your sleep negatively. In terms of the taste with expansion, I've only tried the red apple, but it's very, very good. They do sour sweets as well. I'm not sure whether they're both in stock because obviously it's just been Black Friday, but the red apple is really nice. I've not tried, like I say, the other one, but I will be doing. Price wise, it's $27.99, and then it'll be like 22 quid if you use my code on it. One thing I wanted to go over as well, one thing I wanted to note at the end was the fact that sort of you don't have to have this obviously to get the benefits of citrulline and the benefits of glycerol. You can get that generally through foods, especially citrulline. So beetroots or beetroot juice is a real good one. There's a lot of studies on that in terms of increasing nitric oxide. Other foods like garlic, meat in general, red meat especially, watermelon. Generally there's a decent array of foods that have a decent amount of nitric oxide in them. But obviously you're not going to go into the gym and take a watermelon, well, you're probably not going to, just for digestion and ease, you're not going to do that. So it makes sense to have a non-stim pre to get that benefit of the blood flow, the pump, the mind-muscle connection, and then therefore the benefit in hypertrophic response. But yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. So any questions on any of that, please just ask. Next week's episode will be going into the intra-workout supplementation. So I'm going to go over EAAs next week, so essential amino acids. But yeah, any questions you've got, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next week.